Hola! How's it going, guys? Welcome. Today, I want to talk about something called walking peace, or at least that's what I call it. I'm one of those guys that when I say the word meditation, I'm talking about like a lot of things. Typically, people hear the word meditation. This is me in the past. I heard the word and I just assumed the picture in my mind of the guy sitting there like this. You know, legs crossed, eyes closed for hours on end. You know, that's all meditation was. And I was thinking, oh, well, I don't know how to do it. You know, they're focusing on something, but I don't know what the hell they're focusing on. They got to be thinking about something. I close my eyes and all I get are these crazy thoughts, these ruminating thoughts that keep ruining my fucking day. Okay, so firstly, let's cover that, because meditation could also be the opposite of thought entirely. Maybe it's no mind. Instead of having a mindful experience, how about a mindless experience? Which sounds terrible, sounds crazy. You'd be like, oh, well, why would you want to be mindless? Well, because I've said this so many times and I'm keep saying it. All of your problems, everything that's ever been created in your life that is a problem, or at least at this point in time is a problem for you, was created out of a state of consciousness. The same state of consciousness will not be the one that will solve that problem. You will need to go above and beyond. So, to go above and beyond, you probably need to clear out some of the thoughts that you're currently having. So, the reason I want to talk about walking today and why walking is so important is because it's exercise. It's something easy you can do. You go outside and you focus intently on an activity. However, the activity itself is kind of brain dead. You don't have to put a whole lot of thought in it. It's just one foot in front of the other and you just keep fucking walking. However, since you're doing a task, you're not so worried on the inside. Because I know, at least for me, subconsciously, sometimes in my past, if I'm not doing something productive with every single moment of my day, I'm beating myself up. I'm saying something nasty in my head, and I'm saying, oh, you're not good enough. Oh, you shouldn't be doing this. Oh, you're not focusing on your dreams. You're going to be a failure. So it's important to take some time away and just go outside for a fucking walk. The walk is an amazing thing. And now I'm going to get into sort of how I structure my walks in order to get the most out of them and to actually benefit my life and to solve my problems. By the way, don't know if you guys have noticed yet, my little artwork here. I saw the G and my E's, the way I write them, and they kind of looked like little baby Ekans from Pokemon. I'm also a child, so deep down I keep thinking of that old Vine, or maybe it was a meme. I don't know, I'm aging myself. Where there's this guy wearing a hat, and he was hissing at the camera, and he's like, hey, I'm a gay snake. So I tried to reproduce that for you. You're welcome. All right, so you're about to go on to a walk. About to go outside. You got your dog, you got your cat, you got your lion, whatever the fuck you want to walk. Or your girlfriend. Who knows? Put a leash on. Firstly, what we want to do is set an intention. What are we going to do on this walk? Okay, what is your problem? What do you want to solve? What is your dream? What is your goal? Okay, and where are the starting points? Because now I'm just saying, hey, you didn't know what you're going to do before. Now I want you to pick some random thing and go and do it. Okay, no, that doesn't help. So there's two main areas that I want to focus on. And these are the only two areas that you're probably going to need for a good amount of time. It's purpose and it's shadow work. Shadow work is if you're anxious, if you are depressed, if you're dealing with a lot of problems, a lot of ruminating thoughts, a lot of things that you're suffering, and all suffering is pain that has already been experienced in the past, right? Back in the future, or, well, we're going back to the future, because we're bringing something from the past that we haven't dealt with, okay? That pain, and we're experiencing it all over again in the present moment. That is suffering. Suffering is a choice, and we can choose to suffer it in a negative way or in a positive way. And that's the whole point of shadow work. Shadow work is going in, discussing that emotion, rewiring it, transfusing it, transmuting it. All right, I'm going to go through the steps real quick. So, an example of a shadow work moment would let's say years ago, for me, I used to have just the worst diet you could possibly imagine after I'd work out. My thing was I would always work out. And then I would get away with eating, I don't know, a double, triple, quadruple bowl from like Chipotle or Qdoba, or I'd go to Pita Inn. I don't know if you guys like Mediterranean food, but I would get a smorgasbord of food. I mean, I'm talking 4,000, 5,000 calories, 6,000 calories sometimes in one meal. I'd have a full bag of chips with it. I'd have a bunch of ice cream or donuts or cookies, whatever it was. But I would lie to myself and tell myself that I was blowing up my diet by consistently doing this. And so, how did I go about solving this? Well, I went on a walk. I set an intention. And this is back in the day. This is before I really knew the power of walks, but I saw a video and, you know, I started to think about it. I was like, hey, you know what? You're right. I have all these fucking issues. Why don't I set an intention before I go out on a walk that I'm going to solve my problems on this walk, and then I'm going to clear my mind while I'm on this walk. I'm going to focus on the good things, on the good future that I'd like to experience, while also being completely present in the moment that, yes, my problems do exist. Yes, they're not going anywhere, but they're going to get solved. And so sometimes while I'm on that walk, and this happened in a high regularity as I got better at setting the intention, I would sometimes get these little drips from source, from God, whatever you want to call it, that would give me insight as to what I should be doing if I would like to change my life. If I would like to make a change that would be positive. And so one of these days when I was out on the walk, you know, I used to live at home. So this is back in Illinois, Wheaton, whatever it is. And we live next to a public park. So I was walking my dog, and I remember that this was in the time frame, and the reason I brought up Chipotle is I used to eat Chipotle almost every fucking day. Okay, it was bad. It was really bad. I was wasting way too much money. More importantly, probably than the health, was the amount of money I was wasting. It was probably $20 a day at least just on food. So if you tabulate, I mean, $140 a week. Yikes, bro. Yikes, $560 a month. Yikes, dude. Yikes, man. That's like over $6K a year just on Chipotle. That's crazy, man. What are we doing? What are we doing here? I actually think that's like 6,700 something. That's fucking awful. So, one of these days when I was on the walk, I was asking myself, I set the intention, I was like, look, I can't keep fucking doing this, man. I'm gonna go broke, and I already work. My free time was essentially this. My life was to work out, spend the money from working, and then walk my dog, go to sleep, and just rinse and repeat. That was my life, dude. I was a fucking slave to the system. All right, so I set this intention. I go on this walk, and I want the answer. I want the fucking answer. I'm like, bro, what do I do? How do I clean up my diet? How do I clean up my finances? And as I was on this walk, I passed not one, but two different people that were outside grilling boatloads of meat. Boatloads of meat. And as it didn't matter what the meat was, I got the message. I was like, wait a second. I live at home, bro. Like, I have a store on the way home. I'm not a kid anymore. I can go to the store. I can take the meat. I can grill it myself. I can buy the beans. I can buy the rice. I can make my own burritos. I can make my own burrito bowls. And it costs 10% as much. And I dodge most of the processed garbage, as well as all the extra sodium that they fucking add to everything that keeps you inflamed and fat. So that's what I did. All right? And so that's a silly example. But it works. You see, because you have to clear your head out. You have to remove yourself from your current problems, your current state of consciousness, go out into nature, be at peace, and up here, like I said before, be of no mind. Be mindless. It's mindfulness to be completely conscious of what your thoughts are. And sometimes, when you want to be completely conscious of your thought, that goes both ways. That means you're conscious of having no thought, or you're conscious of whatever you're focused on. But sometimes it's the best thing you could possibly do for your life to focus on absolutely fucking nothing. To just completely relax yourself. To take your headspace and maybe focus on something from your past that made you feel love or acceptance or joy. Just focus on that. Get in the feeling state and then just go for the walk. Your body, your subconscious already knows the issues that are in play in your present world. You set an intention before, and I didn't say it, but journaling and affirmations, part of the setting of the intention. As you're going on the walk, tell yourself, I'm receiving information from source. I'm solving my problem. Just tell yourself, speak this shit into existence. That's all you have to fucking do. You just have to speak to yourself. Guys, play with yourself. Well, don't play with yourself in that way. All right, we ain't doing that here. But play with yourself in the words of what you say, or the means of what you say. And sort of how you act and what you do. Like, you can play around with your beliefs. You can believe whatever you want. And whatever you want can become your reality. But believe me, your thoughts are important. And most people never conquer their thoughts because they never leave them alone. People think that their thoughts are the ones haunting them. And I'm like, no, you're haunting your thoughts because you never tell them to fucking leave. You never tell them to stop. Your bad thoughts think that you enjoy them. Isn't that a bitch? They think that you enjoy them because you keep giving them time and effort. So we need to go on these walks. And so I got to skip ahead because we have to actually cover shadow work and purpose and all this stuff instead of just talking about it, all right? So shadow work. 4 main parts I want to cover. Reject, transmute, transfuse, breathe. What the fuck does that mean? Reject. So, bad thought about who you are, who you can be, all that comes into your head. First step is to reject it. A lot of the times when these thoughts pop up, it's kind of like a declarative statement, but in a negative way. Like, I'm not a good person, all right? So you're going to reject that statement. You're going to say, no, I don't agree with that. And you're going to throw it out of your head, and now you're going to reaffirm what you do agree with. Usually it's the opposite. So if it said before, hey, I'm a bad person. No, I'm not. I'm a great person. All right? And then you tell yourself the opposite, and you link it to an emotion. You try and think of an experience in your life where you were a great person. And you try to experience that emotion attached to the statement of, I am a great person. Now, since you're outside, and since everything is energy, and you're constantly being bukkake'd by the sun at all times, that's why I use the word transfuse. I understand that transfuse relates to blood, but give me some leash here. Everything's energy, so why can't we just replace all of our cells, all of our blood, all of our neurons, everything all at the same time in every single moment? So that's what I mean by transfuse. I put transfuse and breathe next to each other because when I'm out on this walk and I just reaffirm to myself that I am something, and I kicked out of my brain something that my subconscious brought up that I was. So it said, I'm a bad person. I kicked that out. I tell myself, I am a good person. I put that in. Now, as I'm walking, I'm using box breathing. So I'm 4 seconds in, hold it for 4, and then out for 4, hold for 4, in for 4. All right? It's a nice calming breath. But what I like to think about is as I breathe in positivity. I breathe in love, I breathe in light, I breathe in the new. And then as I breathe out, I expel the negativity. I expel the bullshit and the crap that I don't really fucking need. All right? The dog shit. That stuff goes. All right? So when I'm saying that, all that new energy coming in and all the bad energy leaves, you'd think your body would change. I also just love the word transfuse and transfusion. I think it sounds cool, like some vampire shit. Okay? So as you breathe in this new energy and you push out the old, imagining all the blood, all the cells, all the energy, everything in your body changes. You, the person that had the negative thought originally come into their head, you kicked that motherfucker to the curb and you changed. Hold that belief constant and it will start making changes in your life. Start doing this practice every day and keep reaffirming all of this shadow work and transmutation, and you will see massive changes to your life. Now, let's say you've been doing shadow work for a while. You're getting a little bored, and maybe all these running thoughts, you've dealt with them. So now you don't have any running thoughts. Like myself, for example, I don't wake up in fear, anxiety, doubt, any of that shit anymore. None of that exists in my world, right? So what do I focus on now? Well, I focus on purpose, intention, gratitude, asking and receiving. Those are the steps that I like. Going back to setting an intention, originally, purpose, the best way to get a purposeful answer from source, because that's the whole goal here, we cut off our consciousness, we link it up to a higher consciousness via nature or source, and we ask it questions. We set intentions for what we'd like to receive. So, as far as what my purpose is, I like to ask source before I go on the walk and say, I'm setting an intention to figure out how I can serve humanity best. Show me a sign, show me some magic as to what I can do to be of the best assistance to humanity. You know, ask yourself some of these questions. And sometimes you won't like the answers, you know. We don't necessarily get to pick what our soul wants. I mean, yes, we did pick our soul's incarnative cycle here. We got to pick all this before we spawned in, but then we forget. And we don't know what the fuck we're doing here. And then, as we're here, our egos, our human mind, likes to say, oh yeah, but I'm so important. It's my life. I get to pick. Oh. And I'm like, yo, bro, this is just like your first run. This is your first run through, okay? Your memory got wiped. You don't know who you are. The person who chose this fucking quest / adventure that you find yourself on today has been around for eternity. So they probably have a different agenda than you might have, but your ego, your human ego, is telling you that you're so important that you're gonna tell that person what to do. No, motherfucker, they already pre-planned it. Step into alignment, okay? I know that sounds nuts, but trust me, all right? It's all pre-planned, bad things happen for a reason, and that's the point of doing all this shadow work and things. It's just lessons to be learned. Just view life as a giant lesson, okay? The more lessons you learn, the more you grow, the better your life is, okay? The more fruitful a tree is defined by how much fruit it would yield. A small tree would not yield a large amount of fruit. A grown tree would. How long does it take for a tree to fully develop and to grow into a larger tree if you want more fruit? Well, it takes time, it takes effort, it takes some love, maybe some watering, and you gotta shit on the fucking soil, okay? You gotta fertilize it. You know what I heard right there? Effort, patience, time, love, commitment. That's it. That's the key. You want yield in life. You want to have fruits of your labor. Well, you need to have purpose. You need to have passion. You got to put yourself into it. So that's why I said, firstly, intention. You have to set an intention for it. You have to be like, bro, this is what I want. All right? Give me what I want. I'm asking for it. Give it to me. Going back to asking and receiving. The goal of asking and receiving is you will always receive. A lot of people think that they ask and then they're ignored and they never receive. No. You have to believe that you're going to receive before you even ask. And that's linked via gratitude. You want to be grateful to Source while you're on this walk. You know, why wouldn't you live your life in that current moment in a higher vibrational state? Okay? Why wouldn't we be happy? Don't walk around with a pout on your face. Walk around being happy. Walk around and say, hey, this is a beautiful day. You know, I love it because I know I set an intention to get some type of download, some type of insight from Source. I'm out here. It's sunny. I'm having a great time. And I'm clear in my head. It's going to come to me. It's going to come to me. I have asked for it and I shall receive. tell yourself this and be grateful for it. And it will propel your life forward. You'll get some crazy fucking answers as to what you guys should do. Moving forward with your life, all right? You just have to focus on it, all right? Just give it some time, give it some effort, and really open up your consciousness, because life and humanity and reality is a lot more than we think it is. In fact, we don't know shit. I don't think anyone actually knows what the fuck is going on. So, why don't we just have some fun? All right? And then finally, to close this one out, this is my own lunacy. So, if you guys are still with me at this point, again, give me some leash. I'm going to call this one Bless and Progress. So, within my mind, the way that my brain works is I love journaling. I believe heavily in declarative statements and the subconscious mind and rewriting and rewiring your history. Also, within affirmations, I think you can affirm good events or good things that happen to you, right? You can write about them after they happen or before they happen, because time doesn't really exist. They can work both ways. So when I say bless and progress, before I go on these walks, as part of setting the intention, I bless myself. I'm grateful, like I said, over here, the gratitude, but instead of being grateful in the moment on the walk, I write it into the walk before I even go on the walk, okay? This is part of the blessing. Like I'm pre-blessing the walk in a sense, and I know it sounds weird, but I want you guys to hear me out. It's like saying a prayer before a football game. You don't pray before you throw the Hail Mary. You should have fucking started accruing that godly interest, or whatever you want to call it, that favor before the game started. If you want to hit that Hail Mary play, you should have started praying 3 quarters prior, okay? That's the point here. Always be blessing yourself and always be progressing. Bless and progress. You go on a good walk. You're grateful. You get some insight. Maybe you dealt with some shadow work issues that you hadn't been able to deal with before. Maybe you lost your job and you're looking for something new, and you were wondering, hey, maybe I should go check out this job, and you got some divine sign, and now you're going to go for a job opportunity. Okay? So anything happens, write about it. Bless yourself. Saying, I am so grateful that I am blessed with this knowledge that I receive on these walks. You know, I don't know how you guys want to word it. You can word it differently every single time. It's weird when I try to explain affirmations, because even though I've been doing them for close to a decade, I write differently every fucking time. It's every single time. It's just whatever your mood is, whatever your vibe is, just get the pen and the pad of paper and just start writing down. Just script your own reality. Write out exactly what you want. Bless yourself. Bless your friends. Write it in there. Tell yourself how grateful you are. Just try this one, right? I am so grateful now to be hearing constantly from my friends all the blessings that they've been receiving in their lives. Think about how powerful that statement alone is. You are feeling grateful, right? Your body, your subconscious knows the feeling of gratitude. So you just told your subconscious, I'm feeling grateful because I keep experiencing my friends, other people outside of me, telling me how amazingly blessed they've been in their lives. That's a powerful statement. Okay? Now apply that to everything in life. Start blessing everything in life. All the encounters you have, the people that are in it, the job that you have, the passion that you have, your progress throughout this fucking existence that we call life. Document it. Bless it, and keep progressing it. All right, guys. Love you. Get outside. Well, actually, maybe not. It's humid as balls, yo. My shit's been sticking to my leg for like 30 fucking minutes. Damn, that's great.